Why didn't the Soviet Union annex Manchuria in 1945? The Soviet Union didn't annex Manchuria because of a strategic agreement with the Chinese nationalist government, political risks like alienating the United States, and a long-term goal to support the Chinese communists rather than directly rule the territory. While it occupied the area and dismantled its industry, the Soviets planned to hand control to China and instead focused on gaining specific port access and influence. Strategic agreements and political considerations. Treaty with the nationalists. Joseph Stalin signed a treaty with Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist government that required the USSR to recognize it as the sole government of China in exchange for naval base access at Port Arthur, control of Manchurian railways, and recognition of Outer Mongolia's independence. Risk of U.S. anger. Annexing Manchuria would have likely drawn anger and potential intervention from the United States. Support for communists. Stalin's ultimate goal was to aid the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, in their civil war against the nationalists. By leaving, the USSR could position itself as a patron of the victorious communists without the political baggage of a direct occupation, which was ultimately achieved by secretly turning over much of Manchuria's resources to the CCP. Economic and military factors. Dismantling industry. The Soviets dismantled and shipped Manchuria's industrial infrastructure back to the USSR as war reparations, making the region far less valuable for direct annexation compared to its wartime potential. Focus on specific gains. The primary Soviet objectives were strategic, like gaining a warm water port at Dalian and control over Manchuria's railways, rather than annexing the entire territory. Long-term intentions. Puppet state instead of annexation. Instead of annexing the region outright, the Soviet plan was to turn Manchuria into a Soviet-aligned satellite state, much like Outer Mongolia. This was more achievable and less risky than a direct annexation. The Soviets were more interested in securing their sphere of influence in East Asia rather than directly ruling Manchuria. Researched by RexMax Gomez.